Waffle Hammer.
Waffle Hammer
Waffle
Podcast.
Hammer.
Waffle Hammer Podcast.
Waffle Hammer.
Waffle Hammer Podcast.
Waffle Hammer.
Fuck you, Dibble.
All right.
How are you doing, everyone?
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to. This is probably more a bonus episode,
It
if
is
anything. I think we need to address the main controversy.
Well, there's been two bits of controversy.
Also, maybe we've not even set the setup.
Oh, bloody hell.
There we go. Let's get it lit.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
How
lit.
do we turn them on?
There's a button on the floor.
Don't look. Oh, don't look at my bonnet, everyone. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Button. Right, yeah. Anyway, now you can see everything reflecting off my bald head. Perfect. There's two bits of controversy we've got to speak to you about. The first, you'll have probably noticed the logo at the start has changed and the song at the start has changed. And there's good reason for this.
We were told the error of our ways.
Yes.
And we should,
never let it be said that we don't listen.
No. I think what we need to do is ramble for 11 minutes about how an apology is needed, but not actually say sorry.
That's very true. Yeah.
That's what influencers do these days.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
What happened was, you know what? It's in the public sphere.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the interaction up.
Do it,
so, bosh, and now you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I did what I thought was a polite and well-rounded post on the Necromunda subreddit.
I would agree with you, Joe. You're always polite and well-rounded.
Thank you. It's lovely to be called well-rounded from an overly fat person.
Over fat, yeah.
And you can see the response from, now, this is the first bit we need to set up, we need to get this straight. We've been calling them Dibble 420.
Yeah.
There's one B.
So it's Dibble?
It might be, this is what I'm asking, is it Dibble 420?
Dibble 420.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If Susie Dent is watching, please can you message in or phone or do something and let me know.
Anyone with an English language degree.
But preferably Susie
Yeah,
Dent.
we like Susie.
I've always been quite keen.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see, he said, and AI logo, I've forgotten what it says now.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Now, I didn't immediately clock what he meant, and I thought, how would a hard pass aid AI? Maybe they've got to clear that there's a defender's on rushing, and they have to do the hard. Maybe the person they're passing to is far away.
Yeah.
Then it tweaked. No, they're American, and I thought, disgusting, awful. This is just awful. Speaking to me in that colonial lingo, it makes me feel. I'm gonna say it. Sick. So, we thought about this and we thought AI is a worry.
Yeah.
It's encroaching into every aspect of my life.
We've spoke about it on here, and I had my stance about I'm ready for the toaster war, and you had the thing about you've been sucking off C3PO, so you're fine.
Yeah. No, but it has got out of hand. I wore a rather fetching Chanel scarf the other day, and as I was swishing it around my shoulder, as it came round this side, the scarf asked me, would you like an update on the weather? And I thought, no, it's gone too far. It's gone too far now. So we thought we must listen to Dibble.
And to be fair, if his opinion is valid.
It is valid.
Yeah.
It is valid.
We hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're heard.
So what we've done is commissioned a fantastic new logo, which you've seen.
Yeah. And isn't it good?
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
For the War Whammer. War Whammer not War Hammer.
Waffle Hammer.
Waffle Hammer podcast. Fantastic. It's done an authentic lined paper.
It's entirely done by a free range artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Grass fed.
Yeah.
All halal, kosher, organic artist. No AI involvement whatsoever.
No.
So we really hope Dibble is now incredibly pleased with what we've done.
But we've also decided that to remember this correction, so that we don't sway.
We will not err again.
No. We've decided what the podcast needs is an AI correction tool that will chirp in at various points in the podcast to correct us when we've misspoke.
And we don't see that there's any hypocrisy in having an AI bot because of the anti-AI stance of dibble-dibble.
No, and we don't feel it's disrespectful at all to have programmed the AI with our approximations of dibble-dibble's views.
If anything, it's in their honour.
Yeah, it is.
And to bring honour to the 419 that came before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, as I said, my original post was polite and well-rounded, and I feel like my response, which I'll show now, you can see there, as you say, that I respected his ancestry.
Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
Nothing at all. I think you were nothing but the absolute paragon of online virtue.
Fantastic. Yeah. The only thing that could have made that whole interaction better for me is if I asked ChatGTP to craft all my responses. So that's the first bit. It's the new logo. We know you love it.
We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so happy with it. And we're going to get it on hoodies and all sorts.
Yeah, exactly.
So merch.
And you were treated to the new intro song. I don't think I've mentioned this. I've got an honest degree in music. You're probably aware now.
Yeah, that's from we saw. It was evident.
Yeah, exactly. And what we wanted to stray away from was too robotic a music in case it upset the anti-AI sensibilities of it.
Entirely human around here. Yeah. Other than
the
symbol bot.
Yeah, and the synthesizer that I used on my phone.
We should have brought an organ in.
We should have. There's a dick joke somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
The second, talking of dick jokes, the second controversy that we have to speak about. Now, you've probably noticed, the more canny and keen-eyed amongst you, there's only two of us here.
Fact check. Dibbles here. Joe is wrong. There are actually no trout on screen.
Where's Rob, you might ask?
We want to know too.
Yeah, we're asking that as well. So we done the last episode, which I'm sure you watched.
Yeah.
And we afterwards pressed stop recording, had a little chat about how it went. Asked each other questions, like a quick quiz about the Mongolian Empire. And then we said our good night. And just as I was putting my coat on to leave, Rob came back up here, said, I won't be a minute, and then he came downstairs carrying here's one of these chairs. And we're like, what are you doing, Rob? No answer at all. Straight out the front door.
We've not seen him since.
No, as soon as he leaves the front door, he starts loping away, gets the right pace on, just holding this chair, just running. So, if any of you have seen Rob, please report back to us and let us know.
See, this has happened before.
Oh, no.
I've known him a long time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the last time he was found in the Aberdeen branch of Lidl. So he really had got a leg on. So if you're up in Aberdeen, please do check your local Lidl for Rob.
Yeah. The only thing that's bringing me any solace at the moment is thinking, if he does get out of breath, well, he could just have a sit down. Yeah. And he's all right straight away. And that calms me down a bit, to be honest.
We don't know where he's gone, but, siding of the M40, if you see a blue chair with a bearded man, give us a call on 01543. I don't actually know my home number.
And Rob, if you're watching this, bring back Dan's chair, you thieving bastard.
Please come home.
Right.
What was next?
What was next? I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What hobbying, if any, have you been doing?
Yeah, well, I've been doing quite a bit, as I always do, really. Yeah. But I've done, so I did, I think I've done this since the last time we recorded. I did one of the Baneblade varieties, the one with the Chody cannon.
Right, yeah.
Storm something. Yeah. Not Storm Bastard, but one of the other storms.
Yeah.
I did that, and I did that for a lovely chap called Andrew. Who actually came up to collect it in person.
Oh, I see.
And brought two of his friends, and they had a day having painting lessons from me. They genuinely lovely fellas. We went and had a Subway. We had a great day of chatting, and then the next day they went on to Warhammer World, which is just up the road. So
What was it like? So there was 3 of them.
Yep.
What was it like? How did you find it? Trying to move amongst all 3 and make sure they was all getting equal.
Well, we were in my studio.
Yeah.
So you've done some classes with me, and I approached it much like I would any of those really. And we kind of did a bit. We did a bit of talking. They went away and did some painting and feedback. And actually, with 3 people, it was very easy to be giving quite immediate feedback on what they were doing, so they didn't have to kind of move around 8, 10, 12 as we've done before.
And what did they end up taking away?
We did some. They were all relatively new to painting, so we went through the classic. Let's make sure we can actually do a good base coat, some layering for highlights and glazing, and really understanding how you can go back and forth between those, like make a mistake, push it too far, use the glazing to correct in any direction. We then did some leather, because again, it's taking what we just learned in the base coat, layering, glazing, applying it on a different surface, integrating some texture. And then the final thing that they asked for was that we did some face painting. So one of them was a lovely zebra.
Models, isn't it?
I did a nice tiger, a stormtrooper. No, we did a little Space Marine head.
Yeah.
Because there's absolutely millions of those things knocking about. And they all did a fantastic job on that. We did a few decals and bits in there as well.
Right, okay.
And kind of weathered those up. Not on the faces, of course.
No.
That was in the early bit. But yeah, they went away very pleased, and they're quite keen to come back.
All right, I'm just going to say micro sol and micro set, because if we say micro sol and micro set, that's enough, because you'd have used them to do the transfers.
I don't use micro set anymore.
No, shut up! I'm trying to get sponsored.
Oh yeah, sorry. I use it all the time. It goes great in coffee.
Why don't you? What do you?
I actually don't find it as necessary. So I will gloss varnish before I put down a decal.
Okay.
Because I think that helps get rid of some of the silvering and the air bubbles.
Okay.
So I put it on with the water that's come across from the slide transfer.
Yeah.
And I find that without the micro set, it's actually easier to position, because the micro set on the model kind of makes it stick. So I don't put down the micro set first. I arrange it as I want to, and I let that dry a bit, and then I get a makeup sponge and I gently caress the decal with that kind of with a bit of pressure.
Stop! I can only get so hard. Stop it.
Yeah. Just a sensual touch across that, and that just smooths it off, squeezes out any of the air that's underneath. Then I go for the micro sol, and I use at least 2 passes of that. So first one, let it dry. Second one, let it dry. If I've really got some time, I'll do a third one. And at that point, I find it's nice and flush, and the edges have kind of dissolved.
Right.
And then to seal it, all I do is a satin varnish over the top.
Interesting.
And that seals it in just fine.
You do it the opposite way around to me. When I'm first getting the transfer onto the model, that's when I'm using micro sol.
Yeah.
And I don't use the micro set. The micro set is the last thing that I do.
Yeah.
So I use the sol as I'm attaching it, the sol to like smooth it out. I also use a hairdryer extensively during the process, because in my head they're the same as car decals, and they're put on with heat.
I get that.
So I blast it with a hairdryer, and it sort of like shrinks it to the.
I might try that. I've done that before.
Yeah, do that. I get as many of the air bubbles out as I can in the first instance. Then I put some micro sol down on the Space Marine shoulder pad. Micro sol on the shoulder pad area first. Then the transfer, position it as I want it to be, give it a blast with the hairdryer to set it in place, then sol a few times to get any like wrinkles and bubbles, or if it's on a weird shape,
help it spread.
And then when I'm happy with its placement, micro set, and then a varnish over the top, and all of the lines around disappear.
So I find that I haven't found a need for the set, and like all those Imperial fists that I did.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 decals on each one.
Yeah.
None of them have come off. And we've used those extensively for games that have been rattled around in boxes.
That's very true.
Yeah. So you kind of can just save a step.
No, don't worry about that sponsorship then, micro sol and micro set.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some scale modelers who think I'm chatting Waz. And,
Yeah.
But
But we'll fight them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come at me. So yeah, I've done that Baneblade, met those 3 lovely gentlemen. I have.
So you said Andrew, did you say?
Oh, don't put me on the spot. It was over a week ago.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I know. I spoke to Andrew a lot. Andrew, Charlie, and Joe. There we go.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I did remember.
Yeah.
And all lovely guys. Great day with them. I then did 3 Lord Cacophonists,
Right.
which are the Emperor's Children ones with the big speakers on the
I
back.
see. That's a very loud army then.
Oh gosh, yeah.
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 3 of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're not messing about. They are noisy Marines. Then I have done a Black Templars Marshal, which is the 3rd one I've done for this particular chap. So I've had to make each one a bit different.
Oh, yes.
It's a fun model.
Yeah.
If you like painting cloth, that's a good one.
Oh, you did a little reel or whatever they're
About all
called.
3 of them, yeah.
On his Instagram,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you're all following.
Mm-hmm.
And if you aren't, sort yourself out. It's +2 to paint. It is, isn't it? And
It
I
is.
said it all confidently.
+_2_.
It'll be in the description, which will be in differing places. It might be below you. You might have to press a button on your phone, but it's in there. No excuses. Yeah. No. Yeah. Not having explore. This is a mission. Get to it. Do it.
Please.
Yeah. So that last Black Templar you done was the one what you showed me with the NMM gold on the.
Yeah, and so I did the NMM silver blades.
Yeah.
Because I've done like the standard glowy power weapons on the other one, so I went, this one he's run out of batteries.
Yeah.
So he's just got a steel sword
Okay.
and a steel axe because they're magnetised.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'll just have a little go at some NMM gold because I've not done it in a while. So I picked the easiest spot.
Yeah.
And I did it on the hilt of the sword that's intertwinding with chains.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you do it then?
Yeah.
That's where when you see a lot of these like learn to paint NMM videos, they often say pick one of the most obscured and hardest to reach places on the
With
model.
lots of different angles and time sections.
The more
Yeah.
angles,
Yeah.
the more different angles to refract the light, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really easy.
Yeah. A lot of the mistake people make with it is making it too simple. Do you know what I mean? And what?
Challenge yourself.
Yeah.
But no, it was a fun model to paint. And between that, I've been still building Dark Eldar. I'm on my 3rd wound from those Dark Eldar. I said to the chap I'm doing them for, he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll send you a pain token."
A pain token.
Because Jukara used to give out pain tokens.
Right,
So
okay.
that was one of their mechanics. So I thought that was a pretty funny response.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's been me. What about you?
What have I been doing? I've done a lot more reading for things to talk about on this. Been building the Dark Eldar. I've undercoated 2. I mean, they're not busts, are they? They're miniatures.
Like larger scale.
Yeah, larger scale. Once, because I thought it was 74, so it's
75.
maybe that's why because I got off Temu. Really, if you dislike AI, you're probably the type of person that's against Temu as well. So we're building enemies here and setting our position up. But I managed to get 2. Well, no, one's a barbarian dude, 75mm, who stood on rocks and he's
Legally distinct Conan.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one is he looks like an able-bodied Ivar the Boneless from Vikings.
Ivar with a good T-score.
Yeah, exactly so.
Yeah.
And I've undercoated them and I've started to flesh on them, but I've not really been doing too much hobbying. At work we had an Ofsted, which was loads of fun. So sadly, not important real life stuff has got in the way. Putting paint on little toy soldiers, and I tried explaining this to my governor at the prison. Fell on deaf ears.
Maybe that's what you need to do with the prisoners. Just have a mini painting class.
Dibbles here. This answer has been redacted because Joe went on a massive rant about the reduction in size of Mars bars.
Right, we did go too far off tangent. That was not for public consumption.
No.
What else did we say we were going to talk about? Oh, I remember. So,
I did my hobbying, so the last bit was me talking about how I got them big miniatures.
Yeah.
So,
I have come to a realization about this podcast.
Oh, right.
And about the stance I think we need to take. We need to be our true, authentic selves, because that's the only way to be in this world. And I've been watching the Manosphere documentary,
Right.
and it's what they do. This is what they do. Their little hand signal. This is how people know you're an alpha. So I'm going to be an alpha as I say this.
Do you remember Jay-Z's, I think it was Rock Nation? They used to do something where I'm sure they held their hands like that up above their head.
Yeah.
So the opposite of the Manosphere,
Okay,
the Sphero Man.
Manosphere, you kind of put it over your lower abdomen in a triangular fashion like this.
Is it just to draw attention to your dick?
Maybe, yeah. But this is what they all do. I really don't really.
Well, they should have some courage in their convictions and just get their dick out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But one thing it did make me realise is that in order to be seen in this world, you have to speak your truth. You have to be controversial.
Yeah.
So I think it's time that we start doing that. We start being who we need to be for this world, and we start righting some of the wrongs in this dreadful cesspit of a hobby.
I'd say it's pastime.
Yeah, past time. Yeah. So this is it. This is our statement of intent. We're coming for all the other influences.
All of them.
And they're degenerate ways, quite simply. We are instilling real modern masculine values back into this hobby. So I've got my first tranche of reveals to make. Okay. And I'm sorry if any of this is shocking, but it's the truth. And it needs to be said.
No, to be honest, if anything, it's worryingly arousing. I need to examine this.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
The world is never going to be the same once I read this. So this is our takedown of these horrible degenerates that you all worship. Firstly, I need to say to the world that Duncan Rhodes only eats a diet of mild cheddar.
It's just how can he look us in the eye and tell us to do anything?
You're taking your painting advice from a man who eats mild cheddar.
It's plastic, basically, isn't it?
Awful.
Cheddar.
Awful.
Yeah.
Secondly, and this man he's well regarded as being one of the nicest people in this hobby. But what I'm about to say is going to change your opinion. Peachy can't spell solipsism. I mean, the man loves tea, he's friendly to everyone, but how can you respect a man who can't spell solipsism?
Well, quite so. Dan and I were it was either SumpCon or Sump Wars a few years ago, and at the table next to where we was, Peachy was having a game, and he was there next to us for 3 or 4 hours. He was a lovely gentleman, had to chat with us. I wouldn't have been as polite.
Couldn't respect him anymore.
Polite and
lost all respect.
Yeah.
Now next, this one hurt when I came across this news, but I feel like I have to say it. So, Cult of Paint are actually a cult. T-Pain is their demagogue, but they disguise it by changing the T and the pain around. I know.
They really are shits.
Yes, absolute shitbags.
Yeah.
Now this next one, this is a shocker. Arbitorian still uses No Tears shampoo. Make of that what you will.
That one's got me.
Auspex Tactics once threw all his unlucky dice at a goose.
You're on your own.
Valrak peels potatoes with his teeth. Wellywood Wargaming once wanged a welly at Elijah Wood.
I knew it. Yeah. Deep down, I knew that.
And this last one is probably the most shocking, but Pete the Wargamer is actually called Quentin. Now, we will continue with our crusade of truth.
Yeah.
And there'll be more of these next week. So, all of you influencers out there in this Warhammer sphere, you are warned. Thank you. Because we had so many serious things to talk about in that intro, we have missed one of our main main things that we do, and we haven't rolled off the
That's
daddy
true.
chair. So,
Yeah.
should we roll off for Rob
Yeah,
wherever
he
he
can
is?
be the small dice.
Okay, Rob, wherever you are, buddy. You rolled a 4.
I think that's his best score.
It is. Ready? 5, 1. That's 2 1s in a row. Oh, no, I got a 3 last time.
Yeah.
So. Oh, my
Anyway,
luck's gone.
get out
my
my
luck's
stick.
gone. I'll take my drink with me. And my notes. Yeah. Well, God, this is so much less comfy than that one. Yeah. So on my extra tough bones, that's really not comfy.
You think
But at least I've got my
overfat.
overfat. So I had a DEXA scan yesterday, and I've got very good bones, but it did reveal that against the average of people who had this DEXA scan, which I imagine is
Very quick to qualify this.
I was considered over fat. As you can see, I'm carrying loads of fat on me.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will.
I think also you'll be suffering and being sat next to the peak of physical perfection. That is me.
Well, I will have you know, on my VO2 max test, which I did just after, I was considered superiorly fit.
Well,
It says on the test superior, and it's in a box.
yeah.
So I'll be known as Superior Dan from now on.
I see.
Yeah, you can be Joe LTD, and I'll be
No,
Superior
yeah.
Dan.
All right then. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Right, well, we decided that we hadn't done too much planning for this because we weren't sure
No.
what we were going to do the episode on. So we thought we'd just interview each other about painting, didn't we? So it will be a bit of a interview back and forth about painting and the hobby.
Mhm.
So I've got some questions prepared.
I've got
You're
questions.
You're just winging it.
No, you've made that sound unprofessional. I know what I want to
You know
talk
exactly
to you
what you
about.
want to talk about.
I know
Okay.
what I want to talk about, but I don't know the exact words.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got the exact words here. So shall I go?
Yeah,
first?
yeah.
Seeing as you're in the daddy chair.
Well, quite.
What's the longest you've ever spent painting a model to then decide you actually hate it?
Oh, every model you mean?
Every model. Yeah.
Considerable amount of time, like 20 or 30 hours
Yeah.
before I've just gone, no, this is awful. Or a long time into a paint job, I'll commit a catastrophic error, which could be remedied with a lot of hard work, but Sulcatron comes out.
Yeah.
And it just gets re-primed or whatever.
Fair.
But yeah, like long time. And whilst it's possible to look at most paint jobs that I've done and say, oh, I like that element, I like that element. I don't think anything I've ever painted has looked in the end how it looked in my head before I started. And I don't think I've ever been like, I don't think I've got one paint job where I can just go, yeah, I'm dead happy with that. Like,
We spoke about this in the car a little bit actually, didn't we, when I was driving you back last time? And you said you always have quite a definitive picture in your head of what you want it to look like. Whereas I really don't so much. And I just kind of trust that as I'm doing it, it'll become what I want it to be. I kind of have a vibe that I'm going for at the start, more than a picture.
well, this might lead into one of my questions then, because what you produce really is an end product of like what you want out of it. So like, why miniature painting? For me, I was a big fan of fantasy and sci-fi books when I was younger, and the opportunity to play out my own stories, as it were. That's what drove me into it. And I think I get an idea in my head of what I want to do first, and then I make the models for it. So I always have quite a clear idea.
Yours kind of comes from like a gaming and role play place then. I think there's probably two things there. From the miniatures themselves, they've always been cool. And I think there's something in a lot of people, and definitely in a lot of men, that you think about like Airfix and model railways, about having almost like I'm going to sound like a weirdo Fruit Loop now, but like an omnipotent mastery of a small world.
Yeah, well, that's why I like strategy games like Age of Empires and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you're the big being.
Yeah.
Creating and controlling this miniature world.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something inherently pleasing about a small version of something.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's why, like I think Lego is very popular.
Yeah.
You go to Legoland and they've got the Lego world, all that's all set up, and going and looking at like a diorama, or if you go to a museum, they'll have like a diorama of Battle of Waterloo or something. And the aesthetic of that has always appealed to me.
Okay.
I think it appeals to a lot of people. I don't think I'm on my own there. But the other side of it for me with miniature painting is that I did have, growing up, I was the kid who was drawing a lot, painting a lot. And somewhere in my teens, I started to feel quite a lot more angst about creating art.
Oh, right, okay.
And putting a lot of pressure on myself to do it.
Yeah.
To the point where I stopped almost completely. Because it just wasn't fun.
Yes.
So when I got back into this, I tried very, very hard to not apply that same pressure to myself, which is where actually I think I deliberately don't try like set out with a goal in mind for anything that I do. It's just I'll do it until it feels done.
And look at you now, a commission painter. That
Yeah.
approach has clearly paid off, hasn't it? Not putting too much pressure on yourself with the paint jobs.
My mortgage relies on it. Yeah. Which isn't ever scary at all. But no, like in terms of the artistic expression of it, I do find it easier to not to be so critical of myself in a miniature form. And I think it's because almost the skeleton of it's already there for you. You never have that white page problem. Because you've already got something to work with. And like you say, you can just reprime it, but you're not back to absolute square zero because the bones of it is there. Yeah, so it is easier to get going on miniature than say a canvas, I think. So that's why miniature painting for me.
I get what you mean about the controlling the little worlds as well. I've got this computer game called Banished, and it's you grow a little like medieval adjacent village, if you know what I mean.
It's like Minecraft is almost the same.
Do you remember Settlers? Am I aging myself too much?
No, I remember the big one for me was Stronghold. Yeah, that was great. Can't place that there, my lord. That was a classic that used to ring through the house when I was growing up. And the from Age of Empires.
Yes.
Yeah. And the priest.
Fantastic! Yes.
Yeah, so many great sound effects in that. Because things died.
Taking me back.
Yeah, we ought to get a little soundboard for this.
That'd be
have
very
Age of Empires sound effects. Yeah, that'd be really good. Is it my question again?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Right. Okay. What's the worst painting advice you've ever followed?
Oh.
A few hours later.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like genuine bad advice painting advice that I've ever been given, and I think because there are 10,001 tutorial videos for everything, and they're all basically saying the same thing. It's very rare that you'll see. Like, you're not going to see a video that says. People have said don't use brushes, they've moved on to sponges. Well, we've moved beyond sponges. Apply your paint with a bit of sandpaper. You're not going to get that, are you? But people aren't going to. What's the worst bit of advice you've ever received?
When I was starting to airbrush, people saying to mix the paint in the cup with the airbrush. I think that is atrocious advice. I think that's one of the fastest ways to get a blockage and really not enjoy airbrushing.
Why would that increase the chance?
Because you can't see what you're mixing in there. So I mix in a little dish.
Yeah.
And it means I can move the paint around and see if there's any lumpy bits or like extra bits of fluff or whatever in the mix and get those out before it goes into the airbrush. And it means it's all the same consistency.
Okay.
Whereas I think if you just dump it all into the cup, you can't get it to be the same consistency and you can't see what's going on.
I've got a Ardra and Steenbeck, I think it's an Evolution. It's like an old, I've had it for 6 years now. It's got a dead tiny cup. So I mix in little metal trays and pour in. It hasn't occurred to me. Well, then I might get some gauze or something because I'm obviously not sifting it enough because I still get bastard pops.
Yeah.
I've replaced the needle and the needle hat. I don't know what
The
it's-
nozzle?
Yeah, the nozzle.
It's a funny word to say, nozzle.
Because through over enthusiastic cleaning, I'd ripped my nozzle.
You blew your nozzle out.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And as such, when I was airbrushing, I'd point the airbrush that way. And so before I put it all back together with the new stuff, I thought, no, let's give him a full MOT. So took him all apart, cleaned it off. Everything's back to that gleaming chrome. Put a bit of airbrush lube on the trigger.
Do you use the gun lube for that? Or have you got specific airbrush lube? Because I was told that rifle oil was perfectly fine, so I used that.
No, I've saved all that for Rach. The lube that I use for no, it's specific. It's an airbrush lube, and it's by a German company that might start with a P and an F, but they're
Pfizer.
I don't know. Anyway, so did all that. Well happy, clean as a whistle. Started airbrushing. 5 minutes later.
Oh,
fucking thing.
It is. I don't get many blockages anymore, and I think it's just down to getting used to it and knowing exactly how thin the paint needs to be and having the right pressure. And you need to figure that out for yourself. I think there isn't a magic to not on your airbrush.
No, I don't airbrush very often, and as I said, my airbrush is 6 years old, and I've been good at keeping the nozzle clean. And largely all clean, but the way that airbrush is built, it's very difficult to get from where the cup feeds in to this section here, and I think that's where the blockages are happening. And after smashing out my nozzle, I'm very cautious about going in there. So I think what I want is one of I think it's the Infinity, you know, where it's got a little cutaway in the back half of the handle where you can see it. I want one of them.
Yeah, I think that's what I have, the Call to Paint Infinity one.
Oh, right, okay.
Having said that, one thing I do, this is a genuine hobby tip. If you airbrush and you intend on doing things like priming through an airbrush or putting varnishes through an airbrush, don't do that through your Infinity. Buy a 20 quid one off Amazon, accept that it's going to get beaten up a bit, and keep your good tools good. It's like using an artist opus brush to mix up loads of paint on your palette. And ruining that. Like have a cheap brush for doing harsher things. And I find that by not putting primer and harsh things through my good airbrush, it's always ready to go.
I've gone back to brush priming recently. Because I'm lazy and I'm lucky enough to have a room in my house where I can do my hobby in, but it's also got all my music stuff in, and it's quite a small room anyway. And every time I want to use the airbrush, it's a palaver doing this anyway. And then you've got the wait time because I'm strangely in the hobby. It doesn't match up with the rest of my life, but in the hobby, I'm largely a rule follower. And if the packet says it takes 12 hours to cure, then I'm going to leave it 12 hours. So once I've airbrushed something, that's then done for the rest of that day.
Just big.
But if I brush it on, brush it on, hairdryer, good to go straight away.
Nice little speedy tip.
Yeah.
Back to you then. Your question.
What's the miniature that you've painted that's contained the biggest challenge you've surmounted, if that makes sense?
What the biggest challenge? That is an interesting question. So I think each miniature kind of has its crux, which is like the hardest bit and the bit you have to get right for it to look good. And I think over time those change for you. So like everyone's early doors ones are like, I don't know, painting eyes and making a face look good. I tell you what it is. You remember last year I did the Necromunda squad?
Yeah.
And there was that dwarf with the banner.
Yeah.
A lot of him had quite a lot of tricky bits on, and his cloak for one was quite quite tricky with the shapes and also the angle of the light I've chosen. But the hardest bit on him was there's so much going on, and he has this kind of like Plague Doctor mask. We can stick a photo in.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Gosh.
But that Plague Doctor mask needs to be the focus of it, but it's also then surrounded by all this fur, and I'd made the choice to go for TMM rather than non-metallic metal. So that meant I couldn't necessarily have such control of where the highlights are because it's influenced by the light. And that was maybe a mistake on the model, but getting that mask to look good and be the focal point was a real challenge to overcome, and also still to have interest.
Yeah.
It was a tricky bit, that entire mask, and also the fact he has really weird eyes.
Yes.
So he has one eye that is like a standard lens, and the other eye is just a bar through the middle of his eye socket. So I had to kind of ignore that and paint in an eye.
Right.
Because it looked really weird just having another bit of like metal in the middle of his eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a weird little cruxy bit. And he also had an extra fiddly part on the top of his banner where there was like metal and then loads of bones all kind of riveted to it, and everything was incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
And trying to make that look good and not kind of become just a blancmange of different materials all too close together.
Yeah.
That was genuinely quite tricky.
And he is a small model. I mean, I know the models are small anyway, but he's a dwarf, so everything.
He's tiny,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably the hardest model that I've done. I made some of the others harder in that squad by just rushing them, to be perfectly frank.
But they're still breathtaking, and judges agree with me. So it's not just like it's an accepted position. They look fantastic. You wouldn't know that
the trophies behind us over there.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that you felt like you rushed them. So kudos for that.
Yeah, that was probably my trickiest one though. Right, back to me then. So similar question really, but have you had a model that you bought that you've been so intimidated by you just haven't started?
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I struggle with large, flat, organic shapes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all right with tanks and whatever. Yeah. That makes sense. But where it's like a long, undulating robe, I understand the principles of how the surfaces should behave when light falls on them, but getting the correct balance across all of the areas that require highlighting and shading so that it produces a cohesive and believable to your eyes analog of actual light. That's something that I struggle with. So, for example, you know the knockoff Catan that I got off Etsy? I was terrified of him because he's a big model and he's mostly robes. So I bottled it. I didn't paint him for ages, and then I think it was when we were starting that league. Luke,
we did the Crusade, didn't we?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I want him in there. I've got to get him painted, and I just bought myself a dry brush set. And I thought, well, I'll do it with dry brushing then. But that's not how I wanted to paint him, and it's not how I wanted him to look. But he's done. It's because I bottled painting him properly. Yeah.
And cloth is tricky. It is probably one of the harder things to paint really well, and particularly I think because so much of the box art is in that heavy metal style where they paint it quite harshly with edge highlights. Yeah. And if you don't want to follow that style,
no, I don't know.
You then have to look at magicians like Andy Wardle as an example, and you think, well, there's so much of a gap between where most people are and where he is. To try and understand what your next step is quite hard.
See, my view has been when edge highlighting is done badly, everything looks like Tron.
Yeah.
When you're painting volumetrically, it doesn't have that same uniform bad look. It's just it might not be executed very well, but it doesn't have a negative attribute
It doesn't look like a
automatic.
cartoon comic
Yeah.
book kind of effect.
And like with heavy metal stuff, there really isn't a lot of volumetric, is there? Like
There's more of it coming in
there's-
than there ever was.
Yeah.
But traditionally it's not really been their style.
And logically, it never made sense to me that like just every edge is gleaming. It's a weird and like when something is edge highlighted efficiently, it infinitely raises the quality of the piece, I think. But if you're not in that sweet spot, it stops looking like the art and it starts looking like the technique.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I get that entirely. And it is one of those things that's, in theory, incredibly simple.
Yeah.
It's just layers of fine lines on the edges.
Yeah.
But to execute it requires a lot of expertise to do it well.
Yeah, loads of brush control. I think the similar thing with my fear of robes, because it's not always clearly defined. Give me a box and I can tell you what needs to be.
Yeah.
But because it's such weird shapes, and it then becomes a thing of judgment where you put your highlights, where
your light's coming from.
Yeah, exactly so. And maintaining that consistently throughout. But putting the correct highlights in just the right place is just as tricky as that thinnest of thin edge highlights.
Yes. Yeah.
So
one's a mechanical skill and one's kind of a more subjective skill, I suppose, and they're both things that you develop over time, and you kind of get a little bit wrong here and there, and you learn from. And it's where I suppose, even if, like the first question I asked you, have you ever just hated something after so many hours? If you spent 20 hours on something and learned a lot, is it really wasted?
Yeah, no,
you don't like the end result, probably not, but it's also not always the most rewarding, is it?
No.
To not like what you've done.
I used to make music and I listen to some of my old songs now and I'll be like, oh, I don't like that no more really. But each song taught me how to do something or helped me refine a skill I already had. So they're all useful, they're just naff now.
Yeah, you just kind of move beyond it.
Yeah.
It's why I've never reprimed a model ever.
Oh, right, okay.
I will just leave it.
See, when I first got back into the hobby, I was not in a strong financial place, and it was accept my shit paint jobs and have shit models painted on the shelf but nothing to paint, or have another go at them.
Yeah,
so
fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. That was my question, I think, so back to you.
As a commission painter, what question do you get asked the most, aside from how much should I thin my paints? In your classes that you do, what's the most common theme of worry amongst painters? I
mean, paint consistency is a big one, but a lot of people, I think, worry overly about the mistakes that they make.
Yeah.
And that's why one of the things that I actually try and get across when I'm talking to people is you can always come back from a mistake, and just because you've gotten to one point on your process, let's say, doesn't mean you can't go back a couple of steps or bring it back. So maybe you push your highlights too far, or you can just glaze back in some shadows, or maybe you overcorrect a colour with too much. You want it to be red, but you push it too pink. Well, you can bring some more red back into it. You can work both ways within your process. You can always take some steps back to take a step forward. And actually quite a lot of high-end painting is just that.
Yeah.
It's objectively and subjectively looking at what you've done and gone, is that kind of what I want it to be at this point? Even though you've done all the things that, all the steps you thought you would do to make it finished, is it actually where you want it to be? No. What shall I do to make it better? And then execute that. So you might think it's a mistake, but it's just the step in the process. Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's over or it's ruined.
No.
You can, to be honest, let's say your brush slips across something. You can fix that. That's fixable. One of the biggest mistakes I've made was on that Necromunda squad. The first guy I did with the axe. When I put a varnish over him, because after all the glazes, and I'd used like contrast paints for glazing, and they can sometimes be a bit over-satin.
Yeah.
So he looked a bit shiny, to be honest, his skin. I didn't want his skin to look shiny. So I put some matte varnish through the airbrush over the top to kind of bring it all down. When I did that, I varnished in some dust. And I thought, I don't really want to have to pick that out and damage the paintwork. So that is a mistake, objectively. There's no dust in the paintwork.
Yeah.
I thought I can correct this one way, but I took a different route to correcting it. And I made it into a cut on his chest and a scar. And it just became a part of the paint job. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things and worries I get. And people, a bit like the question I just asked you, let themselves become intimidated, and I still do to some degree, with just starting a model for fear of ruining it.
Yeah.
And really, you'd have to go a really, really, really long way to ruin something. And actually, the quickest way to ruin something is to build it badly.
Yeah, well, I'm good at that as well.
Yeah,
so.
like if you build it with like holes in it and you take chunks out of it with your knife, then it's ruined. But no one's afraid of building a model. Everyone's afraid of painting them.
Since my experience of building a knight with 2 left legs, I've developed a healthy fear.
Yeah. But I think you see a lot of unpainted grey for fear of ruining it with paint, whereas paint's really easy to correct or take off.
I think it's quite a natural reaction when you think our society idolises efficiency and everything is bent towards efficiency. And I think that's what's dissuading people from stepping back and going back some steps. If you're interested in the hobby, you'll probably engage with it on social media, and then you just have works of art shoved under your nose.
Or the other way is, here's how to do this in 30 seconds. And
and certainly since the start of social media, our lives have been, I think, it has knocked the confidence of the population as a whole, because everything there's no safe play, everything's exposed, everything's recorded, and I think it's made people more wary of making a mistake. Like when we get young people that start at work now, they're much more like vocally reluctant to try different things, and I think it all comes from
like the comparative nature of thinking that it's always there and you're going to be compared.
Also, I think these poor young people had some vital years ripped away from them.
In the last
COVID.
2 years a
And
little bit.
But like real formative years as well, and I think that's had enough. Anyway, this is going in a very different direction.
But I mean, I'll post like a finished piece occasionally in the Outrider group chat, which is like a local shop. Great guys. I've had it a couple of times where people said, thanks for posting that, it's made me feel worse about what I've done. And that actually hurts me, if I'm honest, to hear that, because that's entirely not what I want anyone to feel like about their hobby.
No.
And if anything, I'll talk to anyone, help anyone, as long as they need. But I suppose that is the thing when you, like you say, you log in, it's just works of art. But
no, that's selfish behaviour from them people.
you can choose to look at it in a different way and say...
That's very inspirational.
Yeah, exactly. And I have like a million people that I look at and think, God, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I really want to keep working hard to get to there.
Yes.
As opposed to comparison to where I am now.
Yeah.
What's the point otherwise if you're not going to try and improve and push yourself on and feel good about what you're doing for you and the improvements you're making, irrespective of anything else?
And if you have to be the best at everything you do, that's a tiring, disappointing life.
Exactly. And I was thinking about it, like we're going to MPO and probably Iron Skull and that kind of thing this year. And last year I did quite well at these things.
Did.
And I thought, well, what if this year I don't get an award or I get a worse award?
Oh, shun you.
And I shouldn't. But I was thinking, I know for a fact I'm a better painter now.
Yeah.
So really, none of that other stuff should have an impact on how I view my painting.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of nice to have cherry on the top. And that hopefully I think is going to seep through my mentality now and help me get out of my own way about I need to do better, because I honestly don't think I do. I just want to be happy with what I've made.
Yes.
And know that it's an improvement on last time.
Yeah, as long as it's not a continual, absolute necessity for improvement.
Yeah.
Then there's nothing wrong with wanting to get better, but if that's the only thing driving you, that's not healthy.
No, you need to enjoy it as you're doing it, like the journey before destination at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've off a lot there. I think that was your question about what's the question I get asked a lot in classes, and I somehow made it about myself.
What's the shittest painting accoutrement scam that you've ever fell for?
That I fell for?
Yeah, that you've actually purchased. And you've just gone, no, this is absolute toss.
The Games Workshop put out it looked like a slingshot. It was a priming handle, so it was a handle with a panel on top and loads of elastic bands in it, so you could use it as like a multi-fire catapult.
Oh wow, very good.
And you had to put the model in between the elastic bands, and you could fit like 10 on it.
Yeah.
And then you'd hold that by the handle and you'd prime. However, it worked no better than just sellotaping them to a bit of wood, ultimately, except for the fact that if it went wrong, the model would be catapulted by the elastic
Very fun.
It also left a fantastic imprint of the elastic band around the bases as the paint built up on the elastic band.
Oh, so you had to go back and do
Yeah,
that.
so you had to kind of tidy up the bases anyway, so if anything, it cost you time.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst one I fell for.
I think mine would probably be this. What are they called? The shakers.
Oh, but paint mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like an agreed upon one that everyone's got. It's like
a blue one.
Yeah, about 100 quid. Didn't have that type of money.
Yeah.
And I got a cheap one. I can't remember where from now. I think I just seen it on Facebook advertised like 15 quid or something.
Maybe this is something we can ask Dibble. Dibble, can you please find us and put it in the video, the best place to buy one of these?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm sure he will have interjected a few times already.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but the fact is that you're still using the analogue method of mixing, which is your hand. You've shunned the robotic.
No, I've got a vibrator now.
Oh.
It's a handheld vibrator that you can attach a plastic structure to clasp the paint pots.
Well, kind of, the old famous Ann Summers bunny. You could balance the paint pot in between the little ears and the shaft.
Yeah, it's like
hobby
that.
hack.
It's like that, and once I've wiped it down, I'm ready to use it with paint pots.
Yeah.
And it works very well.
You heard it here first.
But that was a Temu find for like 8 quid or something. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Big up the Chinese every time. I think that and anyway, I tried a Vortex mixer.
That's the one. Yeah,
right.
The Vortex.
Mine weren't a Vortex.
Yeah. It was a cyclone.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like a mild breeze mixer.
A gust.
And I don't know, genuinely don't know how long I would have had to have held paint on for it to work. Yeah. At one point, I pushed down so hard with the paint pot that I arrested the vibration machine and it caused it to cease. Yeah. And that was, I had a bad run because I don't know if you've seen advertised like these 1001 old console games in one thin box. Yeah. Don't buy them.
They're not good either.
No, don't do that. And like I've got a few years on my wife, and she was mocking me something relentless as just like a standard middle-aged man just falling for scams on Facebook. She said she was going to take my phone off me. I couldn't argue really.
This is actually leans in quite nicely to one of my questions, which was what's a hobby purchase you've justified by saying it will make my painting better?
Well, everything. Yeah. That's sadly that was my thinking for quite a while. So like too early in I hate this word, but too early in my painting journey, I was using Winsor and Newton before I knew how to proper look after them, all the rest. I think probably the expensive airbrush.
Yeah.
I bought it at a very irresponsible time. I just not long met my now wife, and the place we were working at during COVID, the owner decided to like wrap it up. So the pair of us got made redundant on the same day. But the owner was kind enough to give us a nice little like goodbye payoff. Yeah. So we had a bit of dosh to tide us over, but it was like full lockdown. So like the idea of finding a job was like a bit daunting. And what a sensible person would have done is taken stock of how much money they had and thought, that's got to last me so long. And I took stock of how much money I had, subtracted the cost of an airbrush and a compressor, and then thought, I'll just have to live off that then. But yeah, it was, and I did buy it because I said it would make my painting better. But what in fact it simply allowed me to do is to be average in 2 different methods of painting. It sped up priming, but now I can hairy brush to a rudimentary level, and I can airbrush to a rudimentary
You've
level.
actually hit on one of my bugbears, and that is when people see a well painted model, they go, "Oh, but did you use an airbrush?"
Yeah, but
like the airbrush has just shot out the paint in the
I've never understood the complaint.
No, me neither.
Is it cheating in airbrush?
No.
No, I don't
No,
think
it's a different skill. And it takes skill and precision to use.
It's not just.
It's not like a cheat code. It's just hold the button down.
No.
So yeah, I think that's probably a little bit of reverse snobbery for those who don't have an airbrush, thinking, oh well, if I got one, I'd win Golden Demon, because it's just not the case.
No.
Yeah.
That's a silly way of thinking.
Yeah, but I do think that's quite a prevalent way of thinking.
If you think like that, I don't want to argue with you. I just want to know why. Yeah. Explain yourself, please.
We'll hear anybody out.
Yeah, as we said at the start of the show, we hear you.
Yeah.
You are heard.
Yeah.
But only if you speak.
This is a safe space.
Oh no.
Yeah. I knew that'd wind him up. That was me, I think, asking, but I've got more if you.
Yeah, let's have another one.
So, on the same point then, I'd like your opinion on contrast paints. Are they genius, or are they a bit overrated? Used in there. Well, okay, I will leave that question because I had to follow up.
I just mean to answer your question. Yes, I think they're both.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Imagine 10, 11-year-old Joe absolutely destroying his Hero Quest miniatures with awful paint jobs, with shiny gloss, Umbro,
extra thick
enamel paint, all the rest. If there'd been things like contrast paints, where you could just slap it all on, just stay in the lines basically.
Yeah, it's paint by numbers at that point.
But the results that it can produce, if painted on the right subject, are astounding.
And it's far better, like you say, than the old thick umbrella paint.
That being said, and I'll talk about their other uses as well, but let's just for a moment just discuss their...
As intended, Route 1. Yeah.
That being said, if the subject you are painting is not the perfect thing for them, I think they need as much skill and knowledge to use properly as proper use of normal acrylic paint does.
Yeah.
And very often, even on models that are well suited to their application, I find the paint jobs made by them lackluster, and it's especially noticeable when the entirety of the miniature is painted in contrast.
Like the slap chop way.
Yeah, I do not find them vibrant, or they look washed out a lot of the time to me. Yeah. And I find also, even with the slap chop method, very often the highlights are of a uniform tone.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's because it's pulled away from those higher edges. Yeah, you kind of just see the primer underneath, so all the highlights end up being like a tinted version of Wraith Bone or whatever you used. Yeah.
So very useful, limited, I use them more often for an airbrush.
Yeah, they're great for an airbrush.
Over metals, both for an airbrush and with an airy brush, to create different washes. Yeah, I don't think I ever just put down some contrast. It's always over acrylic I've already painted.
Quite rarely will I just use it as intended.
I don't think I
It's
do with any of them.
More of like a filter. I would use it, like thin it down and put it over something that's already painted in.
Like if I'm doing a quick model and I'm not going balls out on it and I want to do some flesh, I'll paint it a mid-flesh tone and then whack over some thin down Gilliman flesh.
Yeah.
Because that works better than like Rikman flesh shade or something.
It's closer to the colour that you're doing, looks a little bit less stark.
Yeah, that's the closest I get to just using it properly, I think.
Yeah, when I first got back into the hobby and I was painting my first flesh tearers, I tried to just use flesh tearers red contrast on the armour, and yeah, it didn't go great.
Yeah, wait, what's that Spanish fella called? It's probably not Spanish now. Juan Hidalgo.
Yeah, he does heavy contrast, doesn't
right,
he?
and he talks about a number of different methods, and it will be execution. But even with, like, he talks about like thinning it down with whatever brand of contrast you use in the medium for that, and doing a number of coats. And he talked about the volume to have on your brush when you and the etiquette once it's on the model of dealing with it, and he achieves absolutely astounding things. But it is an outlier. Like when you're at the gaming group, when you see when I see contrast painted models, they don't all look like Juan Hidalgo.
No, they don't. No. But then you can say the same thing.
But I'd rather see like a muted contrast model than a Wheeler Grey model or a primed model any day.
Well, I was going to ask you that actually. That's one of my other questions on here. Should grey plastic armies be illegal?
In competitive formats, certainly, 100%. And you said we should just be courageous and be ourselves, didn't you, to start the episode? Well, yeah, absolutely. And I'm aware that the very quick defence that will be thrown at me to this is that I'm being ableist, because that's normally what you see. Normally from whiny Americans, but also, you know, you get them whiny English geeks that for some reason have like they're really aping the Americans and that they behave like them as well. Just very distasteful. They'll say, well, that's ableist, not everyone can do it. And I'm not a dickhead. Like, I'm not saying people that have limitations that prevent them from doing so should be held to the same standard. And not like don't be a dickhead. But what I am saying, like, if there's no reason other than like effort or something, you spend, like, how many hours do you think we spent painting our respective 5,000 point Horus Heresy armies?
Easily into the high dozens. Like
I think far more. I think I'm in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And then when you consider, I know we've had lots of little games, but the notion for that started those armies was that big 5,000 point Jamboree, which we've had 2 now, haven't we?
Yep.
So maybe 8 to 10 hours of gameplay payoff for 20, for me, probably 10 or 20 times that much.
Yeah.
I don't want to go and play against someone's grey models on a like beautiful. Say you go walk when we go walk.
Yeah, this does bother me. The incredible feature tables of Warhammer World.
Not just the feature tables, even like their Billy Basic tables are better than what you see at most.
You describe it as it's like playing at Wembley.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's the certainly in England. This is the other thing. There aren't many places like that. There aren't many like high-end gaming venues. If you know of one in your local community and you'd like to give them a shout out, tell us, and like we'll talk about them next episode, because very often you go to a gaming venue if you're lucky, it's got some battle mats. Then you've got loads of L-shaped terrain, and then you play in a dark, dingy room with sticky floors that stinks of BO against someone who's playing with a grey army.
See, I will at this point shout out Outrider, because I would say as a gaming space, that's one of the best I've been to in terms of, well, it's always clean.
Yeah, it's always clean, it's light.
Good chaps, you can actually see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And they have terrain for lots of different games. Of course, they have all the 40k competitive L-shaped MDF stuff. You've got to have that, but then they have a lot more kind of feature stuff that you can put out, and great the bolt action stuff. We've always liked a bolt action table.
Yeah.
They have a lot of the bolt action boxes. They've got great stuff. You could play Mordheim there.
I've seen people play
team.
Ancients, 6mm stuff. Yeah, I've seen people
so
playing that as well.
They have a wide range of terrain, and the ability to not just have copy paste. Here's my MDF L-shaped ruin.
Yeah, well, so you spent 100 hours or whatever painting your army, and you turn up for a game. You can't see your paint job because the room's so dim anyway. The table is thoroughly uninspiring L-shaped ruins, and you're playing against a grey tide.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a hobby where you can just opt out of an element of it, like a fairly
It would be
fundamental.
like to say, I'm going to play tennis, but I'm never going to surf.
Yeah, or I'm playing tennis, but I'm not going to use a racket.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? And I think I've spoken on this before about how I see each game as a contract between the players to make the best story, and it is immersion breaking. I want to fight against the grey plastic.
Yeah.
I want to. Well, ideally, I want my games to look like White Dwarf Battle Reports from the late 90s and early noughties, but if I can't have that, I at least want everything painted.
Yeah, I think I would agree mostly with what you said there, but I probably am okay to a certain degree with stuff being unpainted once or twice. But if you're playing consistently with the same person and everything stays unpainted across multiple weeks or months, then it starts to become the point of effort that you raised.
Yeah.
Where they're just they aren't bothered about how it feels for the other person on the other side of the table to just play against a fairly uninteresting mob of grey.
I think it speaks deeper as well to their attitude towards what they're looking to get out of that game.
Again, probably more so skewing towards winning.
Yeah.
And it being very competitive and maybe less social and interactive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which way you think you don't see unpainted heresy armies.
No.
Put it that way. You don't see unpainted Necromunda games.
Never.
You don't see unpainted heresy armies.
No.
You don't see unpainted Old World, I'd imagine. I've not seen much of it.
No.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say people put some effort into that.
But you do see plenty of unpainted 40k armies.
Yes.
Plenty.
And maybe that's we had episode 2 about that,
yeah.
didn't we? Let's not rehash it, but down to the fact that it is seen more as like a competitive video game-esque kind of experience.
But I've never said anything to anyone about their paint job, or except complimentary. I always try and be complimentary, but I've never said to anyone, "Oh, your models ain't painted." So I never pulled anyone up on it, and I don't think I ever will.
I don't think I ever would.
No, because it's not my business what they do with their time. But if I could choose, I'd always want to play against painted models. Also, it's like, I spend time painting my models. I like it when someone says, "Oh, that looks good."
Yeah.
And I want to be able to do that for them as well.
Yeah.
And give them a platform to speak about something they're passionate about.
Oh yeah, because you almost often do, won't you? If you say, "Oh, I like that," people will always have something to say about it. Like, "Oh, I did that with this," or "I tried this." And that's a great way to break the ice if you're playing against someone you've not played with.
Exactly.
So,
and you might learn something.
Exactly.
I always do learn even if it's just a new viewpoint on something. Yeah.
Nice. That was me asking you a question, I think. So.
Oh right. Okay. For me. What's your painting bucket list? Give us your top 3.
Bucket list, as in things I want to paint or things I want to achieve.
I will have 2 bucket lists. I'm gonna expand the question. I will have 3 things you want to paint, and 3 things you want to achieve.
Okay, so right now, on my bucket list is to paint one of the. In fact, I've got 2 downstairs that I'm yet to start. From Mindwork Games, Brom series. You know the artist Gerald Brom. There's some of it behind you.
He didn't draw me.
No. I've got a couple of those. They're definitely on my bucket list because they are quite out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
They really are. I would love to do an old world army.
Okay.
I'm not sure when that'll be at all. So that would be a proper bucket list.
What would you do? What force?
So my first thing in this hobby ever was high elves.
See, I knew that would be.
Yeah, and I'd like to do a high elf old world army.
I've got a controversial take.
You don't like it?
No.
Okay.
I'd love to do a Warhammer army. I'm not dead interested in doing an old world army.
Yeah.
I'd rather play the older version of Warhammer.
Okay, so just go back to an older edition.
Yeah,
of
like do a
Warhammer.
5th edition.
I'd be well up for that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't matter to me what rule set it was.
Yeah. Well, if you're high elves, because that'll influence what I'd like to do.
I did really like the new chaos stuff they brought out though. Those marauders.
Yeah, but you can get them in. You could have them in the new.
In Age of Sigmar. Yeah.
No, not Age of Sigmar. You could have them in 5th edition.
Oh, you could.
They're just different cavalry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of great models in that old world range, and I'd like to do a proper army for them. And then, third one on that bucket list.
Forest Goblin army. That would be.
Yeah, the goblins would be fun.
On the spiders.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it would be my top bucket list thing though.
Oh no, that was my old world.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A Titan.
Yeah.
Proper big Titan.
Yeah.
I'd love to do. I'd joke with my wife every time we go past her. In fact, I actually sent Em was going into Burton, which is one of the next towns over that has a Warhammer shop. And I had an online order that needed picking up. So I said to her, "Oh, could you pick up this order? And can you also ask him for a Warlord Titan, please?" Of course, she didn't know what Warlord Titan was. So she goes in and says, "Oh, I've been told to pick up a Warlord Titan as well." And he goes, "I wish I had one to sell you." Yeah, that would be well up there. I'd like to do one of them.
Okay, so they're what you'd like to paint.
Yes.
What would you like to achieve?
I would like +2 to paint to be considered alongside some of the other premier painting studios.
Okay.
And I think actually the service, I'm going to blow my own trumpet, and I think a lot of my customers now are repeat customers because I do a really good job. And I think I put in the work and the effort to be considered up there.
Yeah.
I think I just need to be better at getting the word out and give it a bit of time.
Yeah, when you consider these larger painting studios, the resources and the facilities they have in comparison to you.
Yeah.
This is going to sound like a backhanded compliment, but I think it's astounding you're getting any work at all, because surely they hoover everything up in hobby space.
Yeah, well, they're kind of the go-to, aren't they?
They are.
And I'd like to be considered alongside, kind of in that league.
Yeah.
From a commercial point of view. Yeah.
And hopefully without people not having to remortgage their house to get a Lord done.
Yeah, because I am a good bit cheaper than them at the moment. I would like to win a Golden Demon.
Well, yeah.
I think that would be a nice capstone on the shelf.
I think everyone can say that, but the thing is, it's a feasible ambition. I really think so.
Yeah, I'd hope so. And I went to Germany for the last one, and Square came with me, and it was awesome to have a weekend with Square. But I do think, honestly, when I win one, I'd like to do it on home turf, a UK Golden Demon, with all of you guys there to cheer it on. Because Square had to go home early.
He'd been naughty.
Yeah, he'd been sent home.
Yeah.
I think if I had won one this last year in Germany, I would have trotted up onto the stage in a foreign country. No one there knew me from Adam, and I would have just had to put my trophy in my bag and go to the airport. And I think it would have been a bit sad.
It would have been a bit sad, but you could have added to the 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup and 1 Golden Demon. Do you know what I mean? So you could shout that at them for a bit.
But yeah, it was like when I won the Iron Skull one, and like you and Square were there, like having you two to come back off the stage and celebrate with meant a lot. So I think for that big one, I would love to have have my mates there.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's 2. Third one, I'd like to do a lot more teaching, and I'd like to put out content that I think is actually good to help people teach.
Okay.
I don't know how that looks yet, or what it means. I love teaching in person. I really, really, really enjoy doing like one-to-ones or group classes. I'd like to do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my final thing then on my bucket
Lovely.
list. Yeah.
Lovely.
What about you? What have you got on your paint bucket list?
The paint bucket list is 1995 Escher Heavy with heavy plasma cannon. Agreed, there's no place for plasma cannons in Necromunda, but that model.
Yeah, she's got like the pigtails, I think, has she?
Yeah, and the gun's just so interesting baggy. It's just, I'd love to paint one of them. That's a necessity. I'm slowly trying to rebuild my 95 Necromunda collection. And just this week, actually, I got the Orlok Heavy with the heavy stubber, which is, I believe, I'm trying to remember, but I think that was the Orlok metal was the first metal models that I ever bought. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
So that was nice. So the Escher Heavy Plasma Heavy, I would love to do, like you, like a fantasy army, because when I was younger, when I was looking through White Dwarf, that's the stuff that really...
Yeah, aspirational, weren't they? They were the ones,
Yeah, but it was all quite unfeasible, and like, for like a 13-year-old boy to amass a 2,000 point army.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would love to go back and I'd love to do a fantasy army, and I always liked the Orcs and Goblins when I was younger, and I think I've got enough resources and painting skill to actually get through Orc and Goblin army now. I don't think I'd have finished it as a child.
No.
Ideally, I'd like to do Bretonnians, but the Bretonnians I can see in my head, I know I can't make come out my fingers.
As you were talking about Old World again, I was thinking High Elves were great, but I actually did finish an army painted when I was a younger hobbyist, and it was Bretonnians. And the idea now of having a fully painted Bretonnian force where each knight has his own heraldry, I think that would look absolutely stunning.
It would
take a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
Like each knight painted as a character. Yeah. That would be incredible.
There's so much good third-party Bretonnian stuff as well. So they're the 3 things that I'd like to paint. Things that I'd like to achieve in the hobby. Some form of, not just, you entered at a competition. Even if it's just the next stage up, whatever that is, what
was that notable, commended?
Just anything like that. That'd be cool. I'd like to do that. I'd like to find a way to do something community based with the RB. I'd like to provide something to a youth club or to a school.
I love that you've said that, because I know I took the piss out of the whole Manosphere thing and I insulted all the, hopefully in a way that everyone takes well. But the thought of doing something that's kind of something positive for the, not even young people, but anybody, would be lovely. And
we'd be exacerbating the problem of the Manosphere though, because 2 hyper-masculine men like us going into a school is going to have an influence.
Oh gosh, that would really, really set them back. But in a perfect world, I've just won 100 million on the Euro Millions, whatever it's called. First thing I'd do, I would buy a nice warehouse space.
Oh, we've got the same plan, bro. We haven't even talked about this.
Buy a nice warehouse space, and in there would be
a gaming space, a painting
space with all the feature tables,
everyone,
different games, and then there'd be a painting space. It wouldn't even need to be a shop because it's not there to make money.
No.
And I would open it up
to schools.
To schools, to scout clubs, to Girl Scouts, the whole lot.
Yeah.
And they can come down and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd also have a gym on it as well in mine.
Like, in my line of work, that'd be very useful with probation after. Yes.
Yeah.
This is my.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'd love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
And there's in the gym sphere there was a powerlifter called Mark Bell.
Right.
And his brother was a documentarian. He made various films about. He made a really popular one that was about steroids, basically. And it's actually quite a good watch called Bigger, Stronger, Faster. But Mark Bell kind of was already a bit known in powerlifting and kind of got a bit more known off that. And he became a really quite successful entrepreneur.
Mm.
And he opened a gym called Super Training, and it's entirely free to go to. He's never charged a penny for one of like a really fantastically equipped gym. And I think that's the kind of attitude that we need a bit more of within every hobby, every sphere of people who've, like they've achieved something, they've got some success. They don't need everything to be about making money.
Yeah.
And like some of these spaces are just community run, there for the people, there to pass on knowledge. And I know Josh, who runs Three Spires Gaming Group here in Lichfield, got a Warhammer Heroes Award for doing just that. And I think we do need this. We need people to be kind of putting back in.
Yeah.
And that's as much as me being kind of like glib and stupid as we are on this. That is, I think, quite a genuine thing that I think would genuinely benefit everybody in the hobby to be a bit less snarky and cynical.
Yeah. Not just in the hobby, just in general.
In life.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Wow, we really went off on one there.
No,
I don't even know what the question was. Oh, we
were talking about
bucket list. Yeah.
But yeah, I've always had the same.
Yeah.
Like if I win a shed load of money, that's what I'd want.
Yeah.
I'd want to do.
You know the film Dodgeball?
Yeah.
And there's Average Joe's gym. And when he wins the big pot of gold at the end, he just makes Average Joe's gym better.
Yeah.
But it's still Average Joe's. Yeah, I want that for the hobby, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 2, and I'd love to. The system I came up with for large scale necromancer.
Yeah.
I want to do.
That's a definite one.
I want to do that. I want to get 20 like-minded gamers who understand the mission.
Yeah.
2 factions, a big board, huge board, but like dog's bollocks board, if you know what I mean. Like make a real thing of it and have like a full weekend, one battle.
That would be incredible as well. In like you could set up like a gazebo
Yes.
somewhere, and it's feature made for that. Like imagine, the Cannock Chase event space.
Amazing.
Imagine playing there with like a barbecue going, have some music in the evening, kind of make it a thing. Yeah, have people camp out for it.
That'd be very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of mine are like events or community based, isn't it? But that's what. That's the bit that I'd enjoy. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really good answers. I think that's a lovely place. I mean, I've got more questions. We can keep going forever. I've got some smaller, sillier ones we could always do.
Which paint tastes the best?
That's on here. Which paint brand tastes the best?
Oh, I don't know about brand, but the best tasting is the Games Workshop crackle paint that I used on my Necron base.
Really?
It looks like a dry.
Oh, I've not had that. I might have some.
It smells and tastes like chocolate.
Ah, maybe it is.
I had not considered that.
Who's to say it isn't?
I've tried the new new Cadbury's recipe.
Yeah.
They can fuck off. Nestle can. It's awful.
Eat the crackle paint.
Yeah. Nelson Nestle, if you're listening, sort it out.
Yeah.
The crackle paint's better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There
That's
we go.
right.
Yeah.
Right. What's your best taste?
So I've got a couple of answers here. So first off, best taste across the brand, probably Vallejo.
Okay. Yeah.
Tastes the best. There's a certain smell you get when you airbrush some of the Vallejo Game Air stuff.
Yes.
That is divine. Absolutely divine. And not in like a substance abuse kind of a way. That actually smells delicious.
Lovely. Okay.
In a slightly more substance abusey way, I do love the smell of Tamir extra thin.
Yeah.
No paint or glue smells quite like it did in the 90s and 2000s anymore.
No, we're taking all the good stuff
And I
out.
don't know what it is.
No,
Something's gone.
Yeah, they're taking all the stuff that makes you high out of
But
it.
I do feel like the Tamiya Extra Thin is about as close as you get with an off-the-shelf thing these days.
Yeah. I think some of the resins, like the epoxy resins, they can get you quite heady.
Horrible.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I using the other day? No, I use isopropyl alcohol thinned for an airbrush cleaner.
Yes.
And if I do too much airbrushing without considering ventilation, I do tend to feel a bit heady. Like the kind of aerosoled alcohol in the air.
I've always been wary of using the ISO in the airbrush because some video or something I read might have mentioned that it might eat into like the rubber rings and the rubber seals.
The rubber ring is like a 3p bit to replace, surely. I haven't actually found it to do that either.
Yeah,
but
see, it's just one bit of throwaway knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what was the worst bit of hobby advice that I've been given. That's it now. There we are.
And if you're going to replace any bit of your airbrush, replacing the O-ring is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Whereas actually having something that thoroughly cleans the rest of the expensive bits, like the nozzle.
Yeah.
Probably worth it.
ISO's gone up again though, hasn't it?
Has
It's got more expensive.
I bought about 5 litres of it last year. So
okay. Yeah, the thing that I bought last time, which was a 10, is now 12 quid. It's not been a long time since I bought it.
Maybe it's that warring around.
It's the bastard Americans.
Pumping up the isopropyl.
Yeah,
prices.
you've got a silly question apart from paint taste then.
Probably, yeah. I've got a few in here. Right. Okay, I like this one.
Oh, good.
If I came to your house right now and looked at your hobby desk, would you be proud or would you panic?
Oh, I'd be proud, but you'd be aghast.
Right, yeah.
You'd be absolutely horrified.
Yeah.
But I'd be nonplussed by it. I'm not phased.
Yeah.
You like it things your way. I work a slightly different way. That it is chaotic.
Yeah.
I clear space with my forearm.
Fair enough.
And then everything's everywhere. I don't really know where most things are.
Yeah.
It drives my wife, Rachel, mad. She doesn't understand how I can live like that. I don't understand how she can live a life because yes, it's more orderly and she knows where everything is, but all of the moments of joy it finds in something, she's robbed herself of that. But yeah, it is a fucking state. But that's just the desk. The actual hobby space itself, I'd be very proud for you to be in. I've got a nice comfy chair with good support and everything, with my window there. I'm lucky enough to live opposite this very tall. Well, it's not a hedge, is it? What would you like a massive bush?
It's more like a tree, like a spread out tree.
Yeah. And that's very tall. That's like 20 or 30 foot tall. And I've got nice trees growing out in front of that as well. So I've got nice green out on the side, and I've got all my paints on the rack on the wall. Got a big TV strapped to the wall in front of me. Yeah, and paint desk and my airbrush there.
Give me an idea for a segment.
What's that?
People can ignore.
Send us your
hobby spaces and we'll rate them.
Yeah, send us your hobby spaces and we'll rate them. But the person who sends in the photo of the most unsuitable to be displayed on YouTube area and claims it's their hobby space, they'll win a special prize that I'll decide if we receive any.
There we go.
Yeah.
I think I'm not that clean and tidy in my hobby space, I guess, in many ways. I have organisation, but during an actual project, I'm too focused on what I'm doing to tidy up after myself. So I start off organised and then kind of descend into madness. And then at the end of a project, put everything back.
Mad. Because every time I go in your hobby room, I think, oh, this is all, like if you came in mine, you'd get hives. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just like, blimey, this is all, everything's so neat and tidy. But I'm a messy person, and when I'm allowed that room, right? My messiness can't spill out of the confines of that room. The rest of the house,
you're mess maxing, to use. Everything's maxing these days.
I don't know what it means.
Just I don't know, being good at it.
I don't try. It comes naturally. But the rest of the house is organised so much to the point where, like, the angle of cushions must be considered and everything. And this, to me, is a very foreign way of living, and it makes me feel I struggle to relax. I'm like, because if I move anything, I'm going to mess up the altar. I need the mess around me to relax.
Yeah, bit of a nest.
But I know that other people are the other way around. Like Rachel can't relax until it's all.
Yeah.
So we have a very tidy house as a result.
But with one room of cathartic chaos.
It's absolute.
Yeah.
It's absolute. I've got a pile of jumpers at the minute that's particularly irking. That's
Lovely.
I can't remember the question.
Would you be proud or panicked?
Proud. The only thing I'd be panicked about is whether you'd find somewhere to stand.
Around the pile of jumpers.
Yeah, around the pile of jumpers, or your 3D printer.
Oh yeah, my 3D printer lives at your house.
Yeah, in my tiny room.
If anyone wants to buy a 3D printer, then
it works.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah, totally fine.
Yeah.
That might get wanged into a skip.
No, I think with enough love, care, and attention and dedication, that can be a serviceable thing. You know the Necromunda bike scene I made, yeah?
Yes.
That's all.
Okay.
Not the bike.
Yeah, but like all the
terrain, with the exception of the corrugated tin that I bent into the rooms. All of that came out that machine.
Okay, I tell you what then, we can promote this. If this video gets 100 likes, I will give that printer to one of the viewers.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. First giveaway on the spot.
That would be an amazing giveaway.
Yeah. You can have a print. It does need a bit of love and attention, but you're getting a full Creality 3D printer. I'll give it to you. There we go.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I'm
That's a
gobsmacked by
statement.
that.
That's
That
a
is a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen our previous viewing figures.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He's pumping up. So if you want it to get to 100, you have to share it with your mates.
Yeah.
And don't forget to throw a frisbee at your nan and all that good stuff.
Tell your mum.
Yeah.
Why don't you phone into a radio station as well?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what they're asking about. Just tell them that's what you're going to talk about, like potholes or something. And then when you get on the radio, just say, fuck potholes. You can get a 3D printer just by liking this YouTube video. And they'll say, that's wildly off subject, but thank you for your input.
Yeah. Let's make it happen. I want to give away the printer.
Yeah, it'll clear a lot of space in that little lobby room, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll do wonders. It'll pump up our numbers.
Yeah.
And give Joe back some much needed space.
Yeah. Exactly so, which I can then fill. I'm like
more jumpers.
I'm the human version of expanding foam, and I just fill the space.
Yeah,
and
you're not even over fat.
No. I think all of my fat is over fat.
Okay.
I think all of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any healthy
no
fat.
Under fat.
None. No.
Yeah.
Under fat.
I think that's. You got any more questions? Or?
No more questions
Cool.
of that type. Let's
No
have a
moment.
check to see if it's behaved, and then crack on again.
Cool. Well, we're now on to the extended waffle, and I actually have some news.
Oh.
We've had a caller.
Oh, brilliant.
Rob has been sighted, but he's not gone towards Scotland.
Dear me.
Wales this time.
He's gone to Wales.
He's been seen just on the outskirts of Shrewsbury,
All right.
heading towards Welshpool. So the chair's still with him, from what we've been told. So, yeah, if you're in that area,
stay inside.
Yeah. He gets a certain look. You'll know what I mean.
Yeah. And if he starts humming, then run. As soon as if Rob's around you and he's humming, nothing good's going to happen. Just sprint for the hills.
There's a lot of those in Wales.
So, exactly.
Yeah. It's all valleys.
Well, he's an honourable man and he likes to give people a chance.
Yeah.
So, what would be fair? I want to go out abusing. Let's give people hills to run into. This is what I was thinking.
There we go. Yeah. Anyway, I've derailed this. So extended waffle.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with your mythology series, aren't we?
Yeah, and this time we are going to speak about everyone's favourite character from the Horus Heresy, Erebus.
Oh. Yeah, he's a lovely chap.
Did you dislike him like immediately, or did you get to a point?
He probably doesn't give you immediate cause to hate him. Where you start to dislike him is that he's not only this kind of conniving chap, but he then also performs quite well in the dueling cages, doesn't he, against some of your favourites, and that makes you feel a bit pissed off, I guess.
No, I liked him at that point still. The bit where I took is when like Lorgar and him have their falling out, and then he goes off on his own for a bit, and I don't want to give. I'll just say, kills off that lady, and like, at that point I was just like, no, I can forgive all of the like corruption and corrupting the legions and all of that. Like that's cool, but like I just thought
that's a bit arrogant, a bit big for his boots.
And like when he was speaking to her, I just thought, no, you're a prick, bruv. Don't like you.
And that only gets worse by the siege, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much.
He's on his full monologues by then.
He is. Well, his name Erebus. That's another one that I clocked straight away. Like somewhere in the mine slum, my head told me, no, you've heard that word before somewhere. And it's what made me think that. But it translates in ancient Greek as darkness or gloom, and Erebus is the personification of darkness. He is the offspring of the ancient Greek primordial deity Chaos, which is quite interesting, and he has lots of children with Nyx, who was the goddess and the personification of night. In the ancient Greek mythology, these children include someone who's the personification of bright sky, someone who's personification of day. He's the father of love and sex, and he is the father of the goddess of wisdom, counsel, and deep thought.
Okay, so night and gloom come together to have quite varied offspring.
Yes, very much so.
He sounds like his Greek version's done more shagging than the 40k version.
Well, the Roman version, even much, because Roman mythology is largely just a remix of Greek. So he's got more offspring in Roman mythology, and so one of them's the personification of the bright sky. Then you've got day again, love, the personification of guile, the personification of fear, the personification of toil, the personification of envy, the personification of fate, of obstinacy, and pity.
Okay.
So you can see more of his more character attributes there.
I would say some of those gods are going to be more fun at parties than others.
Certainly, but I think it's interesting when you consider his role in the whole thing and how we're frequently told that the chaos gods feed on the negative thoughts and emotions of human people, and then the person Games Workshop chose to open the door to the chaos gods is, in our mythology, he's responsible for those offspring as well. I thought that was a nice mirroring.
It's layered.
Now, the ancient Roman, would it have just been called Roman, I suppose?
The Roman pantheon, I guess.
No, but their language.
Oh, well, I guess it would be called Roman. It's Latin, isn't it?
There we go. That's it. Latin. I knew. Yeah. Anyway, I told you one of his children was the personification of pity.
Mm-hmm.
And in Latin, that name is Misericordia.
Ah.
Which is
it's the little stabby daggers.
It is the stabby, the golden boys.
Custodies.
Thank you. It's their little dagger called Misericordia. Mm-hmm. But I think out of all of the mythology names that I spoke about so far, and then seeing if there's any direct link between the two characters, just straight off the bat with Erebus, I'd say he's the strongest.
Very much.
If it wasn't for Hathor Mart the Space Marine and Hathor the Goddess both being a cow, I'd say they were the most identical.
Yeah. And Meredith.
Oh yeah. No, not Meredith.
Wasn't it?
No.
Another female name. Margaret?
Muriel.
Muriel, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just a female name. Do you remember This Morning? Not literally this morning, but the TV show This Morning. I'm sure they had a doctor on it, or it might have been Good Morning Britain before. His name was Muriel, and he was his. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah. I think it's like a posh man.
Okay, Muriel.
Yeah. I suppose if you are an angel, that is quite posh, isn't it?
Yeah, angel's probably the top layer of snobbery, surely.
Yeah. So that's the end of that. I'm not going to give you any more information about Erebus now, and you cannot make me. All right. So one thing that we should do now, I've just made the audience all warm to me by
You've been what's the word for it? You've been very authoritarian.
Yeah.
People respond to that.
Yeah.
That's what they need, the leaders.
Exactly. Now listen. Right. It's the call to action again. I know you're very excited about it. We both are. We can't wait, because I won't mind telling you, I'm 42. I can remember a time before the internet, before the mobile phones. I can remember the analog world, and it was exciting seeing the digital reality we know now come into place. And it inspired me as a child, and it's still inspiring me all these years later. And as a result, I keep my ear close to the computer ground to hear how can we reach out to people, hopefully entertain them, change lives. How can we do this the best way? What actions do we need to take? And now, as you remember, sometimes they sound outlandish. They do. They do, yeah. It has to be said.
This is the bleeding edge.
Yeah, throw a frisbee, I mean, last week we had to refilm a certain section because the technology failed us, and in the time it took to refilm it, realise that error and refilm it, what you had to do to promote your channel had changed, and my instructions of roll a sausage into a barbershop, they weren't valid anymore. That, if anything, that would get you barred from the barbershop, and if there's still a thing, you get an ASBO.
Yeah,
and that's
I'm not sure anyone gets ASBOs anymore.
It's something to consider though. Yeah. But if other people aren't getting ASBOs, imagine the embarrassment of one getting an ASBO.
You're the last ASBO.
Yeah, and then having to explain, why'd you get that? Oh, I rolled a sausage into a barbershop.
It probably would have got you an ASBO back in the day.
Almost certainly.
But as would throwing a space hopper at a bus stop. Which was the call to action we needed.
I think if they heard the noise.
Yeah, it's a fantastic noise.
I'll be interested to know if anyone has managed to gargle any original recipe lil.
If you found the original recipe lil.
No, sometimes I think it's Home and Bargains or B&M.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
I don't think it's in Home and Bargains, like it's Home and Away.
Well, no, I've got one. I had one in the flat that I lived in when we met and when Rach met. There's one directly opposite, and because I did it once as a joke and it wound her up, I've only ever referred to it in front of Rach as the Home and the Bargains, and I've insisted. No, that is its name. And when we go next time, look closely at the sign. But theirs are dead small, like ridiculously small.
But it's there if you read
that. Yeah. Anyway, that's a lot of waffle to get to this week's call to action. As I said, a lot of them are outlandish, and I had to check whether this was legit because I thought this sounds silly.
Well, you've got an insider at a tech company that's feeding you this.
Yeah,
so.
And I'll speak more on him at a later date when I've been given the correct clearance. But basically, I've got a tech insider on my side. As I told you in another episode, my wife used to be a social media manager for an international company. So, we've got the credentials, and I doubted this. So I reached out and I said, "Is this the legit way of doing it?" And he was like, "That's what's happening. That's what's working at the moment." Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg says do it. Elon Musk says do it. Whoever's in charge of YouTube, I don't know. What's a male name that begins with Y? That's a tough one, isn't it?
Stumped.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Why?
Yannick. There used to be a basketball player.
Yannick.
Bullets called Yannick. Yorick.
Yori, spelled wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, Anyway, I know some Russians do spell it that way.
do they?
Yeah, but Yannick YouTube, anyway, the man that owns YouTube, he says this is the right way to do it as well.
Okay.
It sounds like it could be like quite costly and damaging as well, but I've been told that it's fine. What you need to do is put 4 of them, you know the little plastic spoons that come in the whey powder?
Yes, yeah.
Put 4 spoonfuls of 3, that's the important bit, 4 spoonfuls of 3 different flavour whey powders down your toilet and flush them.
Yeah.
It's up to you which one you do 2 spoonfuls of.
Those hench gutter rats.
And what we want is for you to do this and then send in what you've done so we can see what has the most effect. Because if it turns out putting an extra spoonful of, say, chocolate whey down the toilet gets us more followers than strawberry whey, that's what we want.
It's important stuff for the algorithm.
I can feed this back to my tech contact. I can have a word with Yannick YouTube again and Gary Google and tell them this is what's working at the minute, and we'll be seen as digital visionaries.
Yeah.
And they'll build. You won't be able to see it because it will be made entirely out of binary numbers that are like lime green and dark green, flashing like it's the Matrix. But they're going to build a statue out of us. Binary numbers, yeah. So if you can do those things, that would be favourable, I think. Also, I can't believe I forgot this one. Ask your greengrocer if he can remember Terry Nutkin. If he can, fantastic. Tell him we can be friends. But they're the 2 things. Flush 4 spoonfuls of 3 different flavour whey powder down the toilet, all at the same time. No,
one flush.
Yeah, one flush. You got to think of the planet.
Save that water.
Exactly. Yeah, not all of it can be reserved for the flushing away of multi-flavour whey powder.
No. Don't be so stupid.
Yeah, and ask your greengrocer if he remembers Terry Nutkins, all right? And do those things, and you'll ensure the growth of the channel. Everyone will be happier. It might get back to Terry Nutkins that a lot of people have been asking about him, and he might get like a little.
What a guest.
Yeah.
Guest appearance.
Yeah. Is he dead?
I don't know. It's a good job I'm not a greengrocer because I wouldn't have to say I don't know who he is. I know.
He was a children's TV presenter on like nature programs. I think it was called The Really Wild Side. I want to say, but I think there were a number of them, and he was a bald man who wouldn't admit it. So he still had hair on the sides of his head.
Yeah.
And he was
pushed
quite,
over.
No, it was too far gone for that. He gave like quite strong science teacher vibes, but he was very knowledgeable. Yeah, he was on it. Michaela Strachan was on it, and it was on.
I remember Michaela Strachan. I don't remember Terry.
He was quite old when I was watching, but that's how it seemed to child show. So he was probably 24.
Yeah.
But maybe because there's a bit between us, maybe he'd aged out.
Maybe it might have been. I don't know, Matt. Whatever his name is, does the one show by the time I watched it.
Oh, he's a dull man, isn't
he? He was on everything there when I was coming up.
But he's so banal, there's nothing to him at all.
Doesn't seem to have an opinion, I guess.
No. But if you were watching that, I am sorry. Bro.
Sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't mean to offend.
I think we've blown our chances of going on the one show.
Yeah, probably. We'll have to go on this time instead.
What is it? Oh yeah. Who is it on the one show? Christine Bleakley?
I have no idea.
The lady that does the one show lady.
It's the Welsh lady.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. Alex Jones?
Why not? No, isn't that a male singer?
That's Ala Jones. Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. No.
It's Alex something, Welsh lady.
Yeah.
Her.
Alex Welsh. We'll invite her onto the show instead of us going on there, because I don't think we're BBC material.
No, we're definitely not BBC One.
No.
3 at best.
Yeah. Can you say Fanny on BBC 3?
Yeah.
I probably would then.
You can get away with that.
I think I would, probably, yeah. Right, so that's call to action. So really, we've achieved what we needed to in this episode.
Yeah, I've just got one more thing to say really, and that is, Rob, please come home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you come home, mate. You're better than what everyone says you are. Don't let their opinions grind you down.
Yeah. You're not heavy. You're my brother.
Oh, how sweet. Yeah. Right, and on that note,
Goodbye.
cheerio.
Yeah.